All right. So again, very casual. So I wanted to say, I mean, this has been a great event. You and I spoke a little bit about it, when we were out front. And one of the things that I've always loved about you is, you're very enthusiastic. And I was telling you about that saying, with I think it was Gandhi who said it. Be the change you want to see in others. And you highlighted that by, just coming to us with this idea, which we're going to expand on a little bit. And I think, people are going to be appreciative of your thoughts and of how you organize this. But more importantly, it really does warm our heart. And it means that, we're all making a difference here, so that's what's really exciting about this. So to introduce, you, Kathy, Kathy Stanley, I've known you for years. We've had an amazing journey together, and I know that we're going to continue to have a great journey as we move forward. But with today's event, we had a clothing exchange. And so I wanted to just highlight everything that, you did and prepared. So people know really, how committed you are to this journey, not only for yourself, but also paying it forward. So I have a few questions, and then I'm going to go ahead and let my staff also chat with you a little bit. I need the glasses. I'm sorry about that. So the first question I had for you that I'd love for you to expand on and just let our audience know is so what got you started on this health journey? Speaking about wanting to become the best version of you that you can be, and why is it so important to you to be on this journey and continue on the journey?
Well, I think the reason I started this journey is it was a new chapter in my life. I retired, and I realized I had a lot of life left to live, and I was not in a place with my health that I felt that I could do the things that I wanted to do. And looking back, um, I've been overweight my entire life, and I've
Mhm.
done the up and down thing, and it does take a toll on your health. You don't realize that, and I realized that it's a second chance for me. This is a new chapter in my life. My father set very high standards. He lived to be just 2 weeks shy of 100
Oh,
and
wow.
was very healthy,
Yeah.
and he moved his entire life. He was either building something or walking in the woods or gardening. So when you have those standards and you've got that possibility, you want to live your best life. And I've got 6 beautiful grandchildren that I wanted to do things with, and it was time for me to step back and go, okay, stop messing around now. Let's buckle down and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I mean, I feel incredibly blessed and lucky to be part of that health journey with you. I know that along the way, there have been other challenges to your health, and not to get into details about that, but I mean, despite that, I think that you have continued to focus on the base of being healthy. And like I said, that no journey is no journey worth taking is easy, right?
That's right.
But it definitely has been, I think, an incredible journey
Mhm.
for you, and by all measures successful. So I mean, and again, that's why we're
Yeah.
sitting here having this
Yeah.
conversation. I'm loving it.
And medical issues do come up, but if you're your own advocate
Yeah.
and look at them early, they don't become issues. And I've learned along the way that maybe it seems like I do have issues at times, but it's because I'm getting ahead of the ball instead of behind it. So
Right.
get them addressed, get them out of the way, and keep on moving.
Absolutely. And again, it's a matter of your attitude, and
Mhm.
you have an amazing one. I can't emphasize that enough, because again, challenges sometimes they either they make or break you, right?
That's right.
And you're thriving, and I know the audience doesn't know every single bit of your personal history, but without again getting into details, you're recently post-op, and here you are because, and that's what I love about you, is because it's so important to you
Mhm.
to also pay it forward and have
Yes.
people, also, have the opportunity to better their lives.
Yes.
That you put your own personal, issues, needs, and whatnot on hold, so this could happen. And
Yep.
again, I know surgery happened somewhere, from when we originally spoke about doing this, and
Mhm.
then how it developed and all that, and to today, in the middle, major surgery, and here you are. So I love that. I love that about you. Second question I had is, so what advice can you give to others who are, also on this journey, or thinking about starting their journey also towards health? And, of course, we're a weight loss, office, but I feel we're so much more than that. It
Yes.
is truly about health in every single aspect of it. So for those people who are thinking about starting, who are already on their journey and somewhere, in the middle, or for those who, maybe have already had
Mhm.
success, as measured with, getting healthy, and maybe, life has happened, and they've, you know, uh, kind of stepped back a little bit and are thinking, is it worth getting back into it? I mean, what's your advice from your experience through all of this?
I think when you said life happens, that's exactly true. You've got to make sure you start this journey with patience packed and grace, because there are things along the way that will set you back. Um, and we've got to stop looking at ourselves as failures. We're not a failure. We might have a misstep, we might have a hiccup, um, but your goal has got to be something that's more tangible, or more important than that cruise that's coming up, or that class reunion, or I want to go to the beach in a bikini this summer. Your goals have to be much more than that. It has to be life, and your quality of life, and how you want to live your life, and just set that as your goal, and realize that life does happen. And if you want that piece of cake when you go to that party, do you really want that whole piece of cake, or do you want that taste of cake?
Mhm.
So you've got to relook at everything, and know that eating that piece of cake, that taste of cake, is not a failure, and you're not going to eat the whole cake. And if you do eat the whole cake, then maybe you need to step back and look at the issue of why you ate the whole cake. And there's so many people out here we can talk to. And I'm not ashamed to say that I took that journey, and I have a wonderful person that I talk to. And she's helped me immensely. And there's things that will help you accomplish this. We just have to find them.
And I love that, because it is about balance, right?
Mhm.
It's about being able to, and you mentioned a key word that I love, and I do also mention it a lot during visits. It's grace, showing yourself some grace, and being able to find balance, and not lose perspective of what you're trying to accomplish. Um, and that kind of, triggers a little bit of another question, in between my three questions that I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you. Do you feel, again, because of this journey and because of the health that you've been able to attain through all of this, and a perspective that you've obtained through all of this, do you feel that that got you through your recent medical challenge and surgery a little bit better had you not been on this journey? What do you think about, how things could have been different if you weren't committed to this lifestyle?
I do. And I think part of this journey, when I started this chapter of my life, it's kind of reinventing myself. I took all the pieces of myself that I liked and kept those, and had to really look at the pieces that I didn't like, um, and reinvent myself. And doing so, you've just got to put it together, I guess. And um, Yeah, I just think it's a journey that's worth taking. You've
Hmm.
got a whole life left to live. I mean, I'm upper middle aged, but I still have a whole lot of life left to live, and
Absolutely.
it's something that I just needed to do.
Yeah.
Not only wanted to do, I needed to do it. There are places I want to go, things I want to do, um, and I didn't want to set it home. I didn't want my illness to define me as old, or I had somebody look at me, and it kind of stepped me back when they said, "You're always sick," and I thought,
Wow.
well, yeah, but that doesn't have to define me. So I decided that I was going to get through it and keep on moving because that's what you have to do.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't say that lightly when I say that's what you have to do. Um, there's some illnesses that don't allow you to do that, and I
Sure.
have so much understanding for that, and so
Hmm.
much my heart goes out to that. But live the best life that you can for as long as you can. And your
Yeah.
weight has a lot to play with that.
Absolutely. And again, the transformations that we see
Yes.
and that I see in my patients and including you,
Hmm.
obviously, is that not only that, that outside transformation,
Hmm.
but it's also that inside transformation, that attitude, that, acceptance of what your limitations are, but again, thriving
Hmm.
for where you are, for what you're dealing with, but there's always that opportunity to make better. And like I said, I mean,
We
you're
allow
that.
weight to beat us up. We allow it to define us. We allow it to uh, turn us into something that we really aren't. We'll become a shell of ourselves because we feel like we have failed. And and like I said, you've got to look in and find the good pieces of who you are, and take those pieces and reinvent yourself. You're there. You've got the tools to do it. You just have to believe in yourself that you have the tools to do it.
Yeah. And I love that. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
just yeah, watching you has just been amazing. And
Mhm.
again, the attitude transformation, and then that empathy and that kindness to want to make others or help others feel the joy, and the health and the life that you're
Mhm.
feeling. And that's what this whole event is about, and that's I told you, before we started this conversation here officially here right now, that the win is in. I'm going to use we very lightly because I
Mhm.
mean I have a bunch of amazing people behind me, but we pulled it off,
Yeah.
and that's because there was a seed planted by one person, who was you, and then we were able to build on your vision, which I think is amazing. And I think everything in life is like that. If you're able to communicate, an idea or a vision, and you do it with passion, like you've done, then you can make anything happen. So I think that's one of the takeaway points as well, through all
Mhm.
of this. And again, I've loved doing this
Mhm.
with you. Again, just final question. I want to definitely make sure that you have some time also to talk to.
Mhm.
I know Carmen and Megan, wanted to.
Mhm.
We want to highlight everything you've done.
Mhm.
So being able to speak to you outside also, and show everybody, what we set up today. Um, and this is, I mean, you've answered a lot of this already, but I'm just going to make it an official question: is what's been the best part of all of this process for you? Speaking not only of, today's event,
Mhm.
but also of just the whole, experience of your health journey.
I think it all goes back to um, who you are, and we lose sight of that. And I have worked for 40 years, and I allowed my job to define myself. And it's been a number of years ago, probably three quarters of the way through my career. My son looked at me, who's my best friend, and he looked at me one day and said, "Mom, I love you, but I don't like you right now."
Hmm.
And I was at my heaviest point at that point, and I stepped back and I realized that I didn't like myself either. I had allowed it to change who I was. And who I am is somebody that loves people, and I love to help people.
Yeah.
I love to help people sometimes to a fault, but it just makes you feel good. So
Yeah.
you step back and you go, okay, if he doesn't like me and
Hmm.
I don't like me, then I need to find the pieces I like and build on those.
Absolutely.
And when you and I talked about this, um, I was halfway through my journey and realized that nothing in my closet fits me, or they're starting to not fit me. And there are a lot of people out there in the same boat that I'm at. So why don't we do something? Why don't we share? Why don't we swap? There's people that can use what I have, and I'm sure there's people out there that I can use what they have. So this was born just out of the desire of wanting to help people.
And that shines through, like I said. And one of the important things I think, also just to reiterate, is that it's not about, sure, it's the external thing. We look in a mirror and it's that maybe that overweight issue, the maybe the body you don't want,
Mhm.
but really it's about being broken on the inside, and that's
Absolutely.
what, obviously I know that your son meant, and what you meant about, I just don't like myself and I don't like you, because you allowed something on the outside to kind of like transform who you
Mhm.
really were
Yes.
in your inner core. And I think that, part of the journey, like I said, it's above and beyond just the weight loss.
Mhm.
It's that ability to find yourself again, that ability to find your health, and again, with our limitations. Nobody's going to be free of some type of ailment,
Mhm.
because it's
Yeah.
and it's part also of life. I don't want to be 20 years old
Yeah.
again, but I want to be the best 50-year-old I can be. The next person wants to be the best 60,
Mhm.
70, 80,
Yeah.
and even younger. I have a lot of patients who are younger. Are they at their best version? And I'm not
Mhm.
talking about physically. I'm
Mhm.
also talking about, are you given back to the world everything you can, and you have the potential to give?
Yes.
Are you holding back? And is it your health, and is it your feeling of yourself that's holding you back?
Yeah.
And I think that that's the biggest transformation, that I see in people, and that I really
Yeah.
enjoy seeing.
As much as a lot of us do not like to have our pictures taken, those
Mm-hmm.
are one of the best tools. If you lay your pictures out and not only look at your size, look at your face,
Yeah.
look at your eyes. It can tell you so much about where you are at life. Um, and the best way to hide when you're heavy is to become negative and angry, because then we know people won't talk to us.
Yeah.
People won't bother us. And we tend to become that person until one day it's just miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to be miserable.
And it goes against your core too. I mean, it
Yeah.
goes against who you are.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, and it shows. It shows
Yeah.
that it's not you. So
And things don't grow
yeah.
when they're miserable, I don't think.
I agree. I agree. Well, I really thank you so much for doing this, for sitting down. I wanted to give a little perspective also on your own personal journey, and I hope that people can take. They should take a lot of positives, from your experience as well. And I know that you've always been very generous, and that you've always offered to be available for anybody who wants to talk
Yeah.
too. So I'm just going to throw that out there. I mean, I know
Sure.
that, I have so many patients, that have been through it. But if there's anybody willing to really pay it forward and talk to somebody and help them and give them perspective of what it's like to have been there and then be on a better road, it's you. So I really thank you for that.
Well, we don't always realize that I may have a question today that's really bothering me, and you may have gone through it last week,
Right.
and you may have not always a solution, but an idea or a thought that I can take and run with. And we've all got them. We've just got to learn to share them.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you because you have been the light at the end of the tunnel. You've shown me that maintenance is a possibility, and that's one thing that we have never learned. Is so many people say, here, lose weight,
Yeah.
but when you get it off, keeping it off sometimes is a lot harder than losing it. And to go beyond that and go, okay, maintenance is just as important and we're going to work through this. That was a life changer for me. So thank you.
Absolutely, it's been a pleasure, and thank you for letting me be a part
Mhm.
of the journey. Like I said, this has been great. I can't wait to do this again.
Yes, we will.
Want to keep learning? Hit subscribe and check out the link below. It's got everything you need, from expert content to ways you can connect with us and get real science-backed weight loss advice.